Hi everyone, so today I'm going to try to finish this baby blanket that I made a while ago now, but I've just been kind of delaying on putting a border on it. I have to show the words inside of it, of course, but I feel like a border is going to help me hide that little kind of lumpy connection point right there. So yeah, I'm going to be putting a border on it. I'm kind of torn between these two yarns. I made a baby blanket out of this velvet yarn from Hobby Lobby that my mom bought for it. It's okay. I mean, it does the job. But I'm really feeling called to this Pipsqueak yarn because it's so underrated. It's so soft. It has wrecked a knitting machine for me. So I think by hand is probably the best. So I think I'm gonna go with this one, even though I can't find the other ball of it. So I hope I have enough. But because it's very like light rainbow, and I just never know. I have white Pipsqueak, but I never quite know when to use the one with color. So we're gonna try that. I'm gonna play some Never Have I Ever game that I just downloaded on my phone. And it's gonna have advertising, so we're just gonna keep the volume low. Okay. So, never have I ever taken a pregnancy test with no objective reason. I've never taken a pregnancy test, so yeah. Built sandcastles on the beach. Yes, I have built sandcastles on the beach. They never looked good, but that wasn't the question. Never have I ever studied the history of the city I would be visiting. I guess that's not true when when Mel and I were going on the occasional vacation and whatnot. Trying to pick out also what hook size I want. I think I'm gonna do maybe a 6.5 millimeter and see how that goes. So I'm gonna be using my clover, and I'm not gonna put a knot in there. I'm just gonna go in and do a slip stitch. I'm gonna make sure I have enough yarn to sew in. So yeah, I have studied the history of places that I wanted to go, especially when it comes to graveyards, which I don't think this should be a surprise to anyone, but I really like touring cool, old, or interesting. Oh, I can't see my stitches at all. This yarn right here. Okay, so let's go. So I'm going to stitch and then about 5 right there. See if I can get the look that I want. So yeah, I have done that. Let's see. Been disappointed in the journey. Yeah, story of my life. Yeah, one particular memory that sticks out is I was really into like beading and like jewelry making at the time, and there's a place in North Carolina called Hiddenite, and Hiddenite itself is a gem that is very rare all over the world. It kind of looks like an emerald, but it's only made in like certain. It is only naturally found in certain places, and I think the only place in North America is in Hiddenite, North Carolina. I think it's actually where it was first discovered. So, so I really wanted to go there. I got my mom in on it. I must have been like 13 at the time, and just like I was so excited, you couldn't tell me nothing. And then we went, and it was an obscenely rainy day. Oh, I'm not sure if that's giving the vibe. I feel like I need a bigger hook. Okay, so we're gonna up it to, okay, so I have 6.5. This is a 9, which I feel like might be just overstepping it. I think this is the 9 as well, yeah. Okay, let's just go to 9. Okay. So, we went and it was so stinking rainy, and it's one of those places where you can like pan for things, or you can go down in the creek and pan that way. Like you can do all kinds of like gem stuff, and it was so rainy. We were the only people there at like the mining um, place, and which was cool in the sense that like if we found something, like no one else was gonna be there, but it just, I would love to go back in a place and a time when it was not rainy. But I was very disappointed because I had planned this trip for pretty much as long as I can plan a trip for, which was like, 2 weeks. And I finally got my mom to convince my mom to go, and we went, and it was stupid rainy. um, okay, so is this what I want? This is only going to be like the corner. Let's give it another couple rounds. Sometimes things don't look as great. Okay, so yeah, admired my body standing naked in front of a mirror. Yeah, at times. Not often. Not lately. Um, let's see. Had a jellyfish thing. Nope. Noticed people copying my dance moves. Yeah, I don't think it's even in like a conceited way. Um, to like say that I feel like people were copying my dance moves. But yeah, like I've been out in the club, and I've got a very particular way that I dance. I'm always one of those like dance like nobody's watching type people, and like so I have like my moves, and once I see them passing around the club, I'm like, okay, well this is a little interesting. Y'all weren't doing that before, but okay, but it's not really an issue, because I don't really care. like, I'm not going to lose sleep over that. Too many other important things. Okay, so let's see. Nope, I went the wrong way. I guess I don't know if that matters. Never have I spent the vacation at the health resort. I don't even really know what health resorts are, so made a big declaration of love on campus. So I put the student pack in here, but I don't think so. I don't think while I was in school growing up, I ever like cared that much about anyone to make a profession of love like that. But once I was in college, I was married, so but my spouse wasn't going to the same school, so it would have been like a little silly to do that. Okay, so sung along to someone playing guitar at a party. I think maybe probably when I was younger, if like other people were singing, I've never been so moved by someone playing guitar at a party, that I felt like I needed to sing. But if everyone was singing, it kind of was fun to just kind of get in on it. But like, nah, that's not really my style to just like break out into song. Queer, not that queer. uh, been in a student association in college. Yes, um, I was in the actuarial science club, and was the president. Quickly became the president. That was a weird thing. And then, but I also like just kind of had this like idea that like, if like I just would like pose questions, and like I wasn't ever trying to like steal the presidency or whatever away. It was just more like, hey, like, can we do this? Hey, can we do more activities? Because this is my whole life at this point, and so I really wanted to make the most out of it, and also I didn't get like the full college experience. So trying to make kind of like a watered down version of it for myself. So yeah, I was actually president of a club. Picked a friend up from the airport or seen them off. Yeah, I don't really know what that has to do. Fought with my friends because of my girlfriend or boyfriend. Um, I don't know. Like, I had this one girlfriend in high school that my best friend, um, and he's still a best friend of mine, and she is no longer in the picture. But we didn't kill her or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But he just hated her, and so I've had to fight. And, I kind of have had to be like, I'm like grown up. I can make my own decisions, and even if I wasn't like fully grown up, I was grown up enough to make those calls for myself. So yeah, I just put my foot down and was kind of like, if this is gonna hit the skids, it's gonna do it because of me, not because of like whatever beef you have with her. So yeah, that's happened. Okay. Gotten sunburn. Yes, look at me. I've clearly gotten sunburn. However, in my older age, especially after I went to aesthetic school, I was more mindful of wearing sunscreen. I might have gotten a little sunburnt here or there over the past several years, like over a decade, but definitely nothing to like write home about. I'm very cautious with my skincare. Sometimes you don't know you're going to be out, and that's the real fickle mistress of it. But like, if I knew I was going to be out, I tried to put on sunscreen, even though I hate the smell of sunscreen so much. Use cuss words at a wrong time. Story of my life. um, been detained by the police when I was a college student. No. Made a sticker pack using photos of my friends. I don't even really know what that means, so no. Stayed alone in another room during a house party. I can count on like two fingers how many times I've been to house parties. And, oh, wait, so I did go to one in college where I got really, really sick. And I did stay alone in a bathroom. And it was a nightmare. I was like, this might be where I die, at my friend's house. And it wasn't a fun time. 0 out of 10 would recommend. So we're starting to get the scallops. They're not looking as great as I would like. So I think that this yarn might just not be the yarn that I wanted, even though I'm really liking the color story. So we're just gonna frog this. So yeah, I did get really sick. My wife was coming to check on me. My friend would occasionally come and check on me, but I was like, don't come in here. So he just stayed away. But my wife would come check on me and was like telling everyone. I was like, don't let him know that I'm sick in here. So it's like, Ian's just taking some time to himself. It's like, they were making it seem like I needed to like recharge, and really was just like, I was expelling demons from my gut. If you know what I'm saying, I can tell the full story if I trust you. Okay, let's see. Tested my partner. I think I test her every day, not on purpose, but I think that anyone has to have cojones to be able to deal with me. And I don't say that as like a dig to myself. I say it as like it's a fact. Like it's just a fact. Okay, so we're gonna go to this yarn and see if we. I know I've done a scallop with this, and it's looked really good. I don't remember the size hook I used. So let's see. Is there an end? There is an end there. Okay. Show me an ad, and I can frog some yarn. Apparently every like 10 questions you have to watch an ad or something. Whatever. this yarn is very, very soft. I'm going to, it doesn't like fray off too much for being like a chenille blanket yarn, but I still like to burn the ends so that nothing comes unraveled, because it can be a little bit finicky. Okay. So let's try this again. I'm going to keep the 9mm because I think I like the height better. Okay, so I'm going to go in here, and then we're going to go here. Okay. Okay, rub my eyes forgetting that I had my makeup on. Oh my gosh, 110% of the time. Lost my bra pads while swimming. I've had them like when I did used to wear more traditional like femme bathing suits. I did used to wear, I mean, you know those like really thin little pads that keep everything from showing to the world. Well, I did used to have some. I've never had any fall out. I just have had some that, oh, I want to crochet over this. Sorry. I'm gonna frog again. Okay, but I've had those like wrinkle up, especially if I'm like jumping off like a diving board or something. Those will just kind of like, but I don't really wear those types of bathing suits anymore, so don't really have that problem. Dyed my hair the same color as my friend. I've dyed my hair a lot of colors, but never to match anyone. That's kind of a weird phenomenon. Okay, so asked my other half if I could meet up with my friends. I mean, yeah, I mean, I want to be respectful of her time. So, you know, I do ask, but it's not like, I don't know, just what we do. Drunk coffee at the gas station while traveling. Yeah, who hasn't? These questions are dumb. And I did pick a couple different categories, so hopefully we'll get questions from all types of categories. Okay, so this is the 5 that they initially recommended, but they said some of them you can make larger. I just don't know if this is going to give me like the size of the, I think I might have to do like 2 layers of scallops. I don't know, I'm just not really feeling the size fantasy, which I'm sure some of you have said before. Okay, so let's see. Never have I ever had a bro code with friends. I think I've had a bro code. I mean, like, we've, like, said stuff, and I think it was understood that it was bro code, but never, like, explicitly been like, this is bro code. Because I'm not the kind of person. Never have I ever had a seance with friends. I totally have. High school me did all kinds of shit that he ought not be doing. Visited a winery on a trip. Yes. So North Carolina has some good wineries, and like in the Yadkin Valley. And so my wife and I have taken several trips up there. I mean, by several, I mean 2. The last time we did not eat anything, and your boy got sick, which was not fun. But it's still like a really cool thing. So yeah, I've gone to like wineries. I don't know the difference between a winery and a vineyard. Are vineyards on winery, like the wineries on vineyard? I don't know, but I've gone to whatever. Sold my college notes or papers to juniors. I did not sell them. I gave them to them. And maybe if I was like more lucrative or gave more of a shit, I would have sold them and like made a little bit of money. But they were all students like me. They didn't have any money. So, but like the thing is, like, I can't make, you can read my notes, which are like almost verbatim when I'm in like a course, but like if you don't learn the stuff, you can't pass the test. So I don't know what my notes, so like my notes can be helpful for understanding difficult concepts and stuff, but I wasn't gonna sell them. It was just like a hand me down. And people had handed down notes for me, like, or to me, like it just wasn't a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. Okay, now I gotta watch some ads. I'm thinking I'm liking this more. Okay, still wish I could get some more height on it. I might be able to add like a treble to the top, but it's doing all right. It's pretty cute. Not my dream for how I envisioned this blanket going, but it's a baby blanket and it's free for someone, so they get what they get. Okay, and give me 1 second, and I can. Okay, confuse the gas and brake pedals while driving. Yes, I have. Luckily, it has not ended up in any kind of catastrophe. I also drive stick, which means there's a clutch, there's a brake, and there's an accelerator. Sometimes your feet and your brain go, and that's what has happened to me. But even if I'm just driving, like, especially if I switch over from driving my stick shift to driving someone else's car, it's a lot harder for me to be like, what do I, find the pedals, because I'm like, there's no clutch. Stocked up on all kinds of medications before a trip. I feel like that's kind of a weird question to ask. Like, I've brought medication, um, like I've brought like extras of my meds if I knew that, if I thought, hey, there's a possibility that I can't um, get medication while I'm in this place. I need to make sure that I have extra, but I don't like hoard medications or like, I bring like motion sickness medicine and Advil. So I guess yes, but I feel like the question's kind of weird because it kind of makes me feel a little squirmy, like I did something wrong, but I didn't. I just want to make sure I had my medicine available if I needed it. Spent Valentine's Day alone because all my friends are with their boyfriends and girlfriends, i.e., my entire adolescence. I've spent so much time alone, but that's okay. Went to the beach with a large company, like a company of people or like a company, because I have not gone on a beach large company trip. So no, I'm just gonna assume no. Dined and dashed. No, I've never done this. I am so as much rotten as many rotten things as I did growing up. I knew that these people weren't getting paid enough, and I would never. If I was in, if I was ever in a position where I couldn't pay for it, you know, I wouldn't do that to the wait staff for their hard time and work. That's not my style. Have I joked about it? 1,000%. But there was no intention of actually doing it. I got the other end wrapped around this end, which is always a good sign for things to come. And this yarn just doesn't slide right against each other. It makes knots that are impossible to get out. Shared a secret with someone I just met at a party. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Caught me fair and square. Kicked in a bathroom door to wake up the friend who fell asleep in there. I have never done that. I have threatened to. because I had a friend who was really drunk at a party, and we didn't know if he was like drowning in his own vomit. We could hear him like clattering around in there, and I was like, I will break down this fucking door. And then it turned out to just be like some other people needed to come in and like talk to him. I wasn't the person to talk to him right then, and that's fine. So yeah, I've threatened to, but never done that. Change the song's lyrics to make it up about my friend. Make it about my friend. Yeah, I mean, that's what good friends do, right? talk to my best to my friend out. Talk to my friend out of getting back with her abusive ex. Yes. Um, in way too many times to even reveal comfortable with this question. But I tried to approach it from a very compassionate standpoint because I understand that abuse is not an open and shut book for a lot of people when you are entrenched in it, or when you think you deserve it. They're very complicated emotions as far as I understand them, and so I have had conversations, but I've never thought that anything good would come if I forced them to make that a decision to stay away from someone I thought was bad for them. So I've just tried to say like, remember when this happened, remember when this happened, stuff like that. They're very difficult conversations to have, and um, I don't I don't wish them on anyone. Okay, so now I gotta play some ads. I figured this would be a very like low key way to um, talk about or to have like a little bit of vulnerability without like being like fully vulnerable. So if you like things like this, we can do stuff like this, and it's not as like vulnerable as just like going on and waiting to see what questions are asked of me. But who knows? Never have I ever worn matching bracelets with a friend. So Mel and I did have some matching Game of Thrones bracelets after we had watched season one, with Khal Drogo and Khaleesi with Daenerys. Um, like how they would say like, "You're my sun and my moon. You're like my moon and my stars," or whatever the thing. We both I got matching bracelets. I'm sure I wore like matching bracelets with a friend like growing up, but I don't know, like friendship bracelets. Lost my suitcase at the airport. I think I've probably lost something. I think that's pretty common, but it hasn't happened in a while, thank goodness. Dated someone very familiar to my best friend. No. No. And I love my friends, but I love that they're my friends, and I don't want to date the version of them because that's just weird. It like crosses like a weird boundary. It's like, do you want to date your friend or what's going on? So no, I haven't dated that many people in general. Argued with my parents over college admissions. Ugh, I've had a lot of arguments with my parents over college in general, so I'm just going to assume that the answer is yes, and admissions was part of it, because that's the thing. Shared the license plate number of my taxi with my friends to feel safe. Um, I have not, but I have like shared like when I do like an Uber driver, I like share that driver's information with my wife. Um, and I didn't really do. I mean, Uber wasn't around when I was not coupled, but yeah, it's just like a level of safety that I feel more comfortable with because you just don't know with people. I mean, people be wild, man, and you're like, no, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna do a hard pass on that one. And plus, like, when you share the Uber information, it has the license plate, so I guess that's true. Okay, never have I ever been the youngest of my friend group. No, I'm usually one of the oldest. I guess it depends on which friend group, but pretty much I'm exclusively one of the older people. I was always old for my grade, and that's just kind of how, when you make friends, that's how it is. Okay, tried to emulate a celebrity. I don't know, try to do an impression. Have I tried? Yes. Have I succeeded? Absolutely not. Sometimes I can do a decent Christopher Walken, but the spirit has to move me. Um, and like that's pretty much it. Okay, I think this is actually pretty cute. Looks like clouds, but then they're little. They've got some colors in them, which are nice. Okay, Photoshop my friends into pictures with celebrities. No, can't Photoshop. Found things I forgot in the classroom. I guess, yeah. I mean, if I like left my notebook in there and I found it the next day. Some of these questions are really stupid, and some of them are like harder hitting, and you're like, whiplash. Okay, so now we gotta watch some ads. So depending on how you do a scallop stitch and where you learn it from, you might do it differently than I'm doing it right now. And that's totally okay, especially if you're doing different stitches. It can be, you got to kind of figure out what works best for like the stitch that you're using, um, how many stitches you have on the side, how you want to go through them. Because I did corner to corner for this one, I didn't want to stretch out anything that was in, because half of the sides of one square are 3 stitches, and then the other half just have like a post that you're stitching along. So for all the ones with a post, I'm doing my clusters, and then in the ones that have the stitches, in the middle stitch, I'm putting a single crochet. I do have more of this yarn. Okay, known someone who got married in college. I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure I have. Bought myself a gaming chair. I've bought myself like a more comfortable office chair, but that's it. Vlogged on a walk with friends. I think. Wait, so were we saying like the friends were walking with me, or because I've never done that, because that's a little embarrassing for my taste, but probably have at some point. Who knows? Played Planned a graduation party with my college friends. Um, I've gone to graduation parties, but I didn't really have one for myself because I graduated mid-year, so I graduated in December, and not a lot of people graduate in December, so it wasn't really a thing. And then everyone I graduated with in high school, I don't know, maybe we had a party, but I didn't do any planning. I just showed up. written a college paper without using the internet. I don't know if that's true. um, I think I would always like to cite references, and I feel like citing references and like on the internet is a lot easier. Um, Even if I just was like putting in MLA formatting and I read like the textbook and I was quoting the textbook, I would still go to an MLA formatter and like cite and put it in the right format. So I still use the internet. Um, I wasn't gonna go remember all the rules of MLA formatting that are changing all the time. I'd like to think that my time is a little bit more valuable. So whatever format they wanted that the teacher asked for, that's what I gave. But I mean, getting sources from the internet isn't a bad thing as long as you make sure that they're accurate and reliable sources, and you can't pick like a Wikipedia page or something. But that was okay. A lot of Wikipedia pages did not have what I needed. um, okay, never have I ever worn lace lingerie on a first date. You absolutely know that I have. Helped my other half's cooking. Oh, wait, compared my other half's cooking to my mom's. I absolutely have done this. Uh, my mom is very skilled at a lot of things. Cooking's not her strong suit. So, but she did it, so, she deserves some credit for that for sure. But every time I eat my in laws' food, I'm like, wow, this is so much better. Change clothes on the beach, hiding behind a towel. Yeah. Flirted with the staff at a party. Probably. Okay, add time. Okay. Rekindled a friendship after falling out. Of course, that's what friendships are about. You're gonna fight. You're gonna have big blowouts. Me and one of my best friends have had, you know, we had a big blowout moment in high school, and I just was thinking, we worked together too at the time, and I think part of the tension we had in that fight was because of working together, and I was far less fun to work with at that time, and it we kind of blew up, and I was crying at work the next day, like, I've lost my best friend, and he like walked in and was like, you haven't lost your best friend, and I was like, shut the fuck. But we made amends. We made amends. I'm very calm. Played board game with friends. Seriously? Yeah. Put moisturizing mask on my partner. Yes, absolutely. Especially having the skincare background that I do, I feel like it's like that's honestly like one of the first like um kind of just like more intimate moments that we had was just like me and or her and I just like doing facials, and cause she is an esthetician, and so I gave her a facial, and obviously there was some um, moisturizing elements in that. I don't know why I say obviously, like it doesn't have to be, but there were. So in this corner, I'm going to put a little bit more because I want it to round out on the edge nicely. I think you can go either way with you putting a scallop directly over the corner, or you can go and you can put two scallops leading up to the corner. This one, I'm just going to put the scallop on the corner and then go let it kind of curve around. I put a few more stitches. I went from 5 double crochet to 7, just so it could get some good. So that's what the corner looks like relative to the rest of it. Plus I wanted to kind of keep on my pattern of putting the scallop in the edge that was that's just a post, right? So it seems to have worked out for me. Okay, so yeah, I've done that. Easy peasy. Okay, taking a leave of absence in college. I left college for a while. I don't know if you would classify it. It wasn't like a technical leave of absence. I just basically stopped signing up for classes when I went to community college, and then I came back. And luckily I did that, because if I had just like sealed the deal there, it would have been harder to go back there and harder to get to another school. So how I did it really worked out for me, thankfully. Just to look stylish instead of keeping warm. Oh my gosh, yeah. What a stupid question. Of course, I'm a fucking fashionista over here. But, like, isn't that pretty common? I don't know. Some of these questions are like, obviously. Okay, found out in advance that my friends were preparing a surprise party for me. So I don't think anyone's ever planned a surprise party for me. So no. Gone to a college reunion. Nope. Well, yeah, okay, I have. I went to like the actuarial science clubs, like alumni thing, especially because I was the president and had kind of, again, no like posturing in this, but like because I had kind of like revived the club, it was like really on me to be like present at these things. But after I became disabled, it just kind of no longer became something that I could do, because people are looking for advice, and while I could still give it to them, I just felt so lost that I don't think even now I could go back and be like, spend all this time and money doing this thing and, push your body and your brain to its physical limits. And you might end up like me, where 3 years into the job, you can no longer perform the job because your brain has officially melted. So I haven't done that since. Accidentally started a fire in the dorm. I've never even been. I've been to a dorm literally once in my life, and that's when my older sister went to college. I didn't have to do dorm, like residency or whatever, because I came in as a student who had completed their associates, which is your 2-year degree, and then you could go to a 4-year college here and transfer directly and not have to take all those beginner classes, like foundational learning classes, because I had already done them. And so I got to kind of skip over all of that, and I wasn't forced to live in a dorm. Plus, the campus that I went to was a commuter campus, so that was kind of the primary focus. Received an unfairly poor grade at, maybe, I don't know. I feel like yeah, okay, I'm gonna say yes. So there's 2 classes where I can think of that these were like unfairly done. But like one of them was this teacher who like he was a stats teacher, and he had a very thick Russian accent, which once you got used to it wasn't too bad, but still sometimes I was like, I'm not quite sure what he said. So I'd lean over and I'd be like, what did he just say? And everyone would be like, I have no idea. And so, but then he would bring in like these really strange hypotheticals, or tell these really weird things in class that we were supposed to like um, just know. And they were really weird. Like one of them, like so it was a stats class, right? And then one time he was like, "Oh, blah blah blah," and you know Kepler's law, and we're all like, "Kepler's law? Like what is, what is that?" And we're all math majors, right? And it's like a astrophysics, like talk about like planetary pull or something. And like, of course, we don't know it. Like, we don't know everything. And like, you just bring it. It was so weird. And then I had this other teacher. The only B I got when I went to my 4 year university. The teacher would, what were those things called? They like basically like you had to buy this like it wasn't even. It looked kind of like a calculator, but it wasn't. But you just had you had like basically choices like 1 through 9 or something like that. And then he would do. You would register with the class and with that clicker. I think it was just called a clicker. And so this was a risk analysis class, and he would ask questions that like did make sense, and one of them was for like to keep attendance, right? So like you couldn't make up those points. But the other thing was is like literally like the questions would be so random. It's like which one of it'd be 4 pictures of different dogs, and it would be like which one of these dogs uh, bites the most people in a year, and you're like, we didn't study this. Like, I read the book, and you're not going anything out of the book, and like, so, um, so like, it was so weird, or it would just be like, what's like, he would be asking about like cars and like, you know, what's the car color most likely to get pulled over, and it's like that's not really what we're here for, right? So, so yeah, I've felt wrongly done. Gone on a wrong sightseeing bus. Nope. I have done a sightseeing bus maybe like 2 or 3 times in my life and never got on the wrong one. Been the only one to eat meat in a group of vegetarians or the other way around. So when I was a pescatarian, I'm still mostly pescatarian, but trying to get over some of my sensory issues. And so I have been the only person who didn't eat meat at a gathering, and it is challenging for sure. Um, because like you don't want to like I mean everyone's different, but like I don't want to make a scene about like my dietary restrictions because like they're very deeply rooted in like trauma. But like oh my gosh, yeah, it that was definitely challenging, especially coming with my wife coming from like a very like meat forward kind of approach to meal planning. Made a detailed travel plan in advance. I have not. My wife has. Help decorate college classrooms during the holiday season. I feel like when I feel like for Pride and stuff like that, or like Diwali, because my best friend and my vice president was is Indian and celebrates Diwali. I like wanted to like help celebrate. So when they say the holiday season, I'm just gonna assume any holiday because I wanted my people to feel comfortable, like, just like being like socially knowledgeable and diverse, and I didn't want it to just be revolving around one specific holiday. Been in a club with a group of friends, yeah. Screamed with fear. Yeah, I'm a human, believe it or not. Been to a party with a workshop. Not really sure. I don't know. I don't know. set fire to my kitchen while cooking. No, I don't cook. And the stuff I do cook, I know how to do that enough. Woken up because my college roommates were being noisy. Yeah, so when we lived, they weren't my roommates, but they lived in the same apartment building as me. And usually, like, so they were like super cool. They lived across the hall. Um, so we lived on one side of like the hallway, and they lived on the other side. And if they were gonna have a party, like they would invite us. Like they were very sweet. They introduced themselves to us when we first got there. Ty and Specs, I will never ever forget them because Ty was like a crazy like. He was just a personality. You meet people and you're just like, you are a personality. He was like that through and through, and they would be very loud. They'd often invite us to their parties, which I think is a great way to mitigate that, like, surprise, we're having a party type thing. But, like, um, so that was nice of them. They didn't have to do that. And then they did set fire to we did flaming shots. And, at their party, and one girl didn't blow hers out like all the way, so she starts to drink it and realizes that it's not the fire is not out. She spits it all over the place. Their carpet starts melting. It's on fire. Everyone's freaking out, and like the you know but but like they would be so loud like walking down the hallway that we could hear everything they said, and then we're like, oh wait, can they hear everything we do? And because oopsie. And yeah, so that was you know part of my college experience was working with Ty and Specs to be a little bit less loud at certain times. We weren't trying to police their fun. We just were like, hey, if it's past maybe 2, can you just like be careful when you're walking past our like apartment. So it wasn't like, and they were super cool. They were like, oh yeah, and like it's like you don't realize how thin the walls are because our bedroom wall was against the hallway, but in their apartment, because it was mirrored, their kitchen and like living room were against the hallway, so they didn't realize like how loud it was just to like have um, that. But yes, I could have just turned on the ad. Oh, I did that. Two, three, 4, 5. I don't know how people crochet all the time with blanket and velvet yarn. I just find it very unsatisfying. But if it's what you enjoy, then baby, please enjoy it. But not me. So I've done 2 out of the 3 sides. It kind of has some ruffling in it, which probably means I could have gone down a hook size, but I am pretty happy with it. I don't know. Sometimes the ruffles actually add to the scalloped effect. So I'm liking a lot more than, because this to me doesn't look finished. It just didn't look finished, and this definitely gives a more finished look. So we'll do one more round of questions, and then I'll probably go. So thanks for hanging out with me. I know this is different than our normal live format, but it's just what I can do right now. So, okay, seen a tulip field in real life. Oh, what the fuck? Such a weird. Explored new cities by bike. Yeah, I love getting on like a city bike or something like that and roaming around. And I like bikes. My wife is very uncoordinated and can't really ride bikes, so we don't do that with her, but like when I was younger, yeah. Had to retake an exam. Oh, yes. Taken more food than I could eat from the buffet because of greed. Um, no, I've taken more food than I could eat from the buffet because I was going to eat it later because I was broke. I feel like to just be like, because of greed, like, you're just like, that's such a weirdly poised question. Okay, souvenired, never have I ever souvenired cutlery from a party? No. What does that even mean? Okay. Oh wait, I just said I would do one more. Maybe I'll do this one more. Sorry. I'm totally like, what am I doing? Did I? Why is that acting so weird? Okay. Celebrated New Year's Eve with at a party with strangers. Yeah, I mean, maybe not everyone was a complete stranger, but a lot of people were strangers, yeah. Sneered the first person to fall asleep at a house party with toothpaste. No, I've done the Sharpie thing too many times, but never toothpaste. That's a weird one. Used best friend captions on social media. Like said they like besties, because probably. Left negative reviews on travel companies. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, they're generally bad anyways, so like, it's gonna, you get lost in the noise of everyone else. So unless I truly have a bad experience, like it's really bad, I won't review. But like, if it's something that like is different than what literally everyone else is saying, I don't need to review that. Okay, so that was the end of the the end of the questions for today. So I hope you learned a little bit about me, without me having to kind of think about just what I want to say. I'm just gonna say whatever. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you didn't, sorry. I'll talk to you later.